morning, everybody. My name is Georgina Quigley, and I'm CEO at ACB Group Design and Construct. Thank you to CETA and CIF for inviting me here to speak. I'm going to speak to you this morning about a specialist subcontractor's view of digital construction, and we view digital construction as a win-win. Just for context, this is who we are, this is what we do, and this is just a view of the world from a specialist external envelope contractor such as ACB. So for ACB Group, our vision is to change once and benefit many times. Our mission is a win-win approach to design and construct, and our goal is to do more for less and with less. And so that's broadly our approach to digital construction. How will we know whether we've succeeded with this vision and this mission? Well, the NBC tell us that we will see a 20% increase in production export, we'll see a 20% reduction in programme, and we'll see a 20% reduction in capital expenditure. So these are the high-level benchmarks that we're benchmarking our success, or our measures for success. We've developed our own infograph here for digital for a specialist contractor versus the traditional method. And you see that we are measuring a 30% faster time on site, 33% saving in project costs, 50% increase in build quality because of the clarity and control that we can get from 3D design, 50% greater flexibility in terms of change management, and 25% safer sites. So this is true measures within our business that we're tracking and measuring our digital transition to. So the challenges to digital transition, and the challenges I believe for everybody in the industry to digital transition, are number one is team culture and behaviours. Number two, the cost, or the perceived cost, the actual cost associated with the transition to digital technologies. And the third one is the lack of client appetite. And so I'm going to look into each of these areas. So in terms of team culture and behaviours, we have a team that are already delivering excellence. And so absolutely, our team are excellent at what we do. Our technical design is fantastic, and our delivery of projects is excellent. So what's the problem? Well, we need more of it. And so for me, the behaviour towards this is digital is not by somebody else for you, and it's not by you for somebody else. It's by you for you. And you need to start we all need to start taking ownership, accountability and responsibility for this digital transition. It isn't somebody else's problem. It's very much everybody in the construction sector needs to take ownership. And that's where we introduce this above and below the line thinking. So we can all say, well, the government are not doing enough, or the educators are not doing enough, and we can all make excuses, well, the client doesn't want it, or we can make lots and lots of excuses and reasons why we shouldn't move to digital. We encourage our team to think above the line and to take ownership and be responsible for their transition to digital. And as Abraham Lincoln says, you cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. So when we were introducing complex change, and we see this in lots of the presentations presented on digital construction, but I find this really good in our business to keep reflecting back. And so we started our journey 2 years ago, and there are frustrating times. And when you look back at this, you think, well, hold on a second. I have no incentive put into place here, so how can I expect these people to really take ownership of this? Or I might find that, well, hold on a second, the people that I'm targeting here don't have the necessary skills. So when you look at each of these building blocks, and if you really take yourself back every time you pilot a project, and we have done lots of false starts, and the benefit of us making the false starts is that nobody else should have to make them. So we're willing to share our ideas and the mistakes and false starts that we made. Now, it's never really a mistake because it's always a learning, so it's always an opportunity for improvement. And I found to reflect back on this, and I have it up on the wall in my office, to say, hold on a second, we're not equal in success on this initiative just yet. What have we missed? And I reflect back on each of these. And more often than not, I find that I'm missing a building block. And if I reflect and get back to that building block and say, look, what incentive have I put in place? So we set out objectives at the beginning of the year, which we saw our 30% at the beginning. We sit with our team and we say, this is our digital transition. This belongs to you. The incentive at the end of the year is we all do annual reviews, and we'll all be rewarded. We will all be rewarded. The business will be rewarded, and you as an individual will be rewarded based on our success for digital transition. And so I find this, while it's available out there, a really good just sounding board. Our team is, as I say, already delivering excellence. And the issue is not that they are not excellent at what they do. We need more of it. We need them to do more. Our clients need increased productivity to deliver more excellent projects. And so why is this a problem? So this is great, isn't it? Except there is a problem. We have a massive skills gap. We have labour shortage and we have tighter programs. And so we need to address this by allowing the digital technologies to do some of the tasks that we would traditionally have done in a more laborious approach. And so really the message from this is the biggest win for our clients is that we can deliver more projects for them in the same time with the same resources without increasing construction costs. And that's really all that it's about. There's nobody saying you're not already excellent at what we're doing. We just need to do more of it. And so we've got to get smarter. And so very much in the business, and this is something that everybody's experiencing, we're so busy, and we are so busy, and there is a big upturn in the economy, and we are so busy, but we're too busy to improve. And so this is a really good image. You know, he's been offered the round wheels, and hold on, I'm too busy to even think about round wheels right at the minute. You know, who's going to do the work while I'm putting on the round wheels? So we're all up against this, and it's just maybe to get people's behaviours and their mindsets into this is your problem, and you need to look around because there's lots of wonderful opportunities for creating lean digital processes that can take away the mundane tasks that will allow you to be even better at delivering projects. So that's the behaviour, the team and the culture barriers that we're experiencing, and I believe the industry is experiencing. The next barrier for us as a SME, and by the way 95% of the construction sector are SMEs, is the cost. We simply can't afford to transition. And so for me the message is here, you simply can't afford not to transition to digital construction. Now again, the cost of hardware and software, we have done all of this, so learn from mistakes that we have made. So when we set on the journey 2 years ago, we needed high-powered machines and we had to replace machines. So our design team, designing in 3D Revit, had to have high-powered machines. So we upped the machines, we upped the servers, we bought licenses, and we scaled up. Now as we're pushing digital construction out through our business, we find now that our commercial team need high-powered machines to be able to navigate and tender for models. We find that our project team now need high-powered machines. And so it is becoming difficult and it is becoming very costly. And I'm glad to say that with cloud workspace solutions, which is just a new journey that we're on, so again, a learning that we're delighted to share, it's fantastic. They're scalable and you pay per use. So you can have the top-notch high-powered machine in a workspace for so many of your users and the not so high powered, and basically operate off a dumb terminal, and you pay per use, and you pay so much more on operational cost than having to have the capex up front, and so you're paying as you go, and so you can see, you can capture and much easily justify your spend. And then you have the cost of upskilling and training, and yes, there is the cost associated, but before too long you will be reaping the rewards. So for us, what did we do in our business? So we struggled with that. I'm too busy to change, I'm too busy to improve, and all that good stuff. Digital is fantastic, tell me when it's done. You know, and it just doesn't work. It's by the people, for the people. It's very much you need to do it for yourself. And so we hired a BIM lead, Louise Kelly. Louise had been working in the UK and is passionate about digital construction, and we're delighted that we got Louise on our team. And that just helped us to benchmark and to give our team a flavour of what this really does look like and what it really does mean. You know, we have people on our team, in our design team, that are 25 years developing in CAD, you know, and it's worked for 25 years. Leave me alone. And so it's great to bring somebody in. So the suggestion is to hire a leader, you know, somebody with the knowledge, somebody with the skills, that will lead your team and let them get a visual on what it looks like. And I'm glad to say now that that has been a great success for us. We then reflected on our recruitment process, and we said from now on, anybody that comes into our business must be digitally literate. And that's not in terms of using Word or Excel or any of that. They must understand digital construction. So understand what BIM process is, understand BIM design, understand BIM processes, understand models and how to navigate. So if you're coming in to estimate on jobs, understand how to take your bill of quantities off a model. Now I know we have a journey to go in terms of taking quantities off a model, but we could take the macro quantities, you know, and then you've created leverage. So that was just another strategy that we went. And the last one is leverage of all the hard work that's already done. CETA, CIF, BIM Ireland, National BIM Council have done tremendous work. So you haven't had to do the feasibility and the scoping and the will it work and the convincing. It's all done. These guys have done a huge amount of work, there's a huge amount of resources. So leverage off it. The work is really, a lot of work is done. And in terms of training, Sarah's talking about an open BIM certificate, which is fantastic. For our guys that are 25 years designing, these guys are excellent at what we do. We categorically need them. We can't afford to sidestep them. So how are we going to bring them in? Well, to send them into an educational institute where you have students coming up through who have not been out in the real world is difficult. And what the open BIM certificate will be fantastic because that's what it's targeted at. It's targeted at the people, the technical experts like we have, who understand the technical design, have all the knowledge, but are just struggling with that digital transition. So that will be fantastic for us. And the next barrier that we have identified is the lack of client appetite. And there's a perception out there with the clients that we have spoken to, I'm not saying all clients, but certainly the clients that we've spoken to, that we will pay 3 times for BIM. And why are we having to pay extra? And in fact, 3 times extra for BIM. And we're saying, no, you won't. In fact, you're going to save 3 times with the use of digital construction. Now, 3 times, 10 times, you know. So the client says, I'll be paying for your staff to train on the BIM process while on my job. Well, that's not true. We, the specialist contractor, will have we will have all of the training and we'll be skilled on the BIM process. The client is saying the specialist contractor will keep all the efficiencies in their own pocket. So there's a bit of a trust issue there. You know, well, yeah, that's great, but you're the biggest winner here. And that's simply not true in a BIM, in a 3D world, because of the visualization and the transparency that a BIM process will give you. That all of the operational efficiencies in terms of simplified collaboration and visualization, along with construction efficiencies, will be realised by all parties. So it's very much a win-win. It's very transparent, very open, and there isn't anywhere to pocket the advantages. Everybody gains, everybody wins. The client says, I'll be paying extra to have my project information delivered to meet BIM standards. So we're saying absolutely not. That is just the way that we operate. We deliver BIM information and BIM collaboration. It's just what we do, producing the information right first time. And if we can get that message across to our clients, I think the appetite, certainly from our clients' perspective, will increase. And just in terms of who am I talking about in terms of our clients? Well, our clients are designers, the main client, and our contractors. And the wins for contractors, for example, are cost certainty, program certainty, and transparency. And so that brings trust and shared risk, shared reward, very much an open process. For the client, the visualization of design is just invaluable. They have digital asset info in the model, so their FM now becomes much more streamlined, and they have life cycle costs of their building. We have impact modelling, design optimization, rapid iteration with their designers. And while rapid iteration is not a new thing, it actually is really rapid now, and so we can really test and measure the performance of the building before it actually goes to be built. So digital construction is a win-win. And what does digital construction mean for us? Well, it's clash detection, it's verification, it's building information modelling, it's collaboration with our fire protection, so making sure that it's in the right place and giving the visual on it and giving the confidence to our client. It's collaboration with our structural steel, with our curtain walling, with our mech and elect, and it's just about clarity on and transparency. And that gives you control, and that increases your quality of output. So that's really just a view on who are these clients that I'm talking about. So digital wins, as promised by the NBC, are these 20% decrease, 20% increase, 20% decrease. And how are we, from our perspective, a specialist contractor, how do we think that we can all benefit and that we can all get this true win-win? Well, we believe if you open up the design process, now I know that there's contractual and there's lots of other reasons that it's difficult right now, but broadly speaking, if we can open up the design process, engage the technical designers like us and lots like us, and I mean lots like us, we all need to be on this journey because there's little point in only one person believing and delivering digital construction, or one team or one group. We need everybody on the journey. So if we open up the design process with early engagement, we do have the technical knowledge and we are more than willing to share it. So allow us in early design engagement and create leverage of that technical expertise that we have. There's no value in creating a parallel universe or Traditionally, maybe in standards, you would have had parallel universes where you took out the manual and the standards when the auditor was coming and dusted them off and you got through your audit. Very much this is in your business, making a true difference within your business. We're saying enjoy the benefits of impact modelling, explore multiple approaches with rapid iteration. So if we open up the whole process and empower your supply chain, so engage with specialist contractors to develop the BIM deliveries for the project. Engage earlier on. Shared risk and shared reward. So that's what digital construction does. It's a rising tide that brings all ships. It's not like there's one winner out of this. Everybody's winning. And this is a graphic that's used lots and lots and lots, but it's really, really powerful. And you see from early engagement here, if you look at the BIM, the blue BIM workflow, early engagement allows you the ability to impact cost and performance the most. Whereas traditionally we would be getting engaged here in technical design, and you see that the cost of change is enormous. So it's just a really nice and really valuable piece of information to keep. So this is your journey of construction along the bottom and cost and effect. And so usually, as I say, we will be involved much later on. This piece here, when the cost of change gets really high. And it's just, if we really believe that early engagement with specialist designers like ourselves can really add value, when we can add the most value, when cost and performance can be impacted the most, and not so late on, when it's just so expensive to make changes when you're out on site. So that's just a handy little. And again, another BIM benefits, and I know everybody's got percentages coming out of their eyeballs, but greater cost predictability, 78% greater cost predictability, 85% improved schedule, 85% less hours, 92% optimised design, and 98% better understanding. And this is the McGraw Hill construction. So I suppose what's not to like, really? There's everything in this to like. So to wrap up, I have we have top 10 tips to enable digital transition in your organisation. Take responsibility and ownership. Don't kick it around anymore. It's each and every individual's responsibility. Get the knowledge. We're in the information age. Equip yourself with information. The more information you have, the better you can manage it, the more valuable you are as a resource, as a business. So get the information, get the knowledge, and get yourself upskilled. Create leverage using the resources already available. As I said, there's tremendous work done by CETA and by BIM Ireland and Lean Construction Ireland and CIF. Use it, it's there. Somebody else has already done the work, you don't have to. Make the digital decision while it's still yours. Very soon, it's not going to be your choice anymore. And it's always nice to be in control of your decision, so make the digital decision while you still can. Understand the common goals of digitisation, and really it's delivering more and better with less. Empower your construction supply chain with collaborative decisions, so that's our early engagement. Have a digital vision, as exciting as it may be, have a vision so that people know what they're aiming towards. Develop a digital strategy, believe in a win-win, so believe in shared risk and reward. So it's not like anybody's out there to try and pocket it all for themselves. This is a win-win for everybody. And trust collaboration, trust the BIM process, it works, it's a fantastic opportunity, and so allow it into your business. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.